Since we opened our swim team, we've coached dozens of Ironman finishers, hundreds of personal bests, and even one national champion. Here are the 7 worst mistakes we've learned from them. Confusing timelines. You can definitely see improvements in just 5 days. With the correct focus and approach, a short period can significantly enhance your technique, efficiency, and speed. We've seen swimmers correct years of bad habits in just a day or two. For example, telling someone to hold their breath every 2 or 3 strokes in backstroke can instantly improve their technique. But other skills like reducing 100 freestyle time by 4 seconds, as we did with Santi, takes at least 9 months of dedicated training. The key mistake here is confusing these timelines. If you want to drop your 100 time 4 seconds in one day, some skills take days, others months, and some even years. Seek guidance from someone who understands your swimming journey to set realistic expectations. But be careful. This clarity won't help you if you make the following mistake: not experimenting enough. On race day, swimmers often revert to old habits due to adrenaline clouding clear thinking. Regardless of how good your daily training is, repeating old mistakes can affect your performance. For adults preparing for a significant event like an half Ironman or an ocean swim, nerves can significantly affect the outcome. Arriving early, participating in smaller races, and testing conditions, currents, breathing patterns, wetsuits can greatly improve your performance. For competitive pool swimmers, smaller meets are ideal for experimenting with new race strategies. Winning these meets is less important than the lessons learned. Katie Ledecky swam the 200 butterfly several times before the Olympic Games, not to win, but to learn. Experimentation is beneficial, but be careful not to make the next mistake. Constantly changing approaches. In today's information-rich environment, it's challenging to decide which swimming method is best. Should you eat breakfast before a morning swim? Should you lift weights? Should you breathe every 2 or 4 or even hold it for longer? How many underwater dolphin kicks is ideal? If you seek answers online, you'll get multiple convincing and conflicting opinions. Trying them in a short period is a critical mistake. Returning to point number 1, certain skills require years of consistent practice. Constantly switching methods can extend mastery from 2 years to 15. There is a time and a place to experiment, and there's also a time to stick to the imperfect method you chose and see how far it can take you. The next mistake is related, but it is important to mention it for everything to make more sense. Instant technique changes. Once swimmers correct their technique, they often feel satisfied and stop focusing on improving that skill. However, swimming isn't just about learning, it's about doing. You need continuous practice until movement becomes second nature. After mastering one skill, apply it during races, then refine it or shift focus to something new. But please avoid the next major error: wrong priorities. Arguably the most crucial lesson in swimming. Kids often dream of Olympic gold, while adults typically aim for weight loss or an elite swimmer's physique. While admirable, if these goals dominate their mindsets, it usually leads to burnout or quitting prematurely. When the primary goal is victory or physical appearance, swimmers risk disappointment and or shortcuts like doping, unhealthy diets, or even surgery, leading to dissatisfaction and ultimately abandoning swimming. Winning medals or achieving fitness are excellent side quests or secondary goals. Our coach Ellie, my brother, and I have learned that the ultimate goal should be to keep showing up, to never quit swimming. If you swim for any other reason, you will either achieve your goal, realize it won't give you everlasting joy, and quit swimming, or never achieve your goal and quit swimming. Either one is a failure in our books. Speaking of failure, the next mistake often leads to quitting. Always swimming more. While consistent practice is crucial, more swimming doesn't always equal better swimming. Our coach Ellie has taught us that training should vary significantly depending on the specific goal. Some workouts may total 5,000 meters, others just 500 meters, depending on the objectives. Technique sessions often involve shorter distances with ample feedback, while speed workouts require extensive rest periods. Otherwise, you're training endurance and not speed. Endurance training does need longer distances, but sprinters, marathon swimmers, and master swimmers alike need balanced training across distance, speed, and technique, adjusted throughout the season. If all of this seems too complex for one swimmer to understand it all, it's because it is, and there's a straightforward solution: doing it alone. If you really want to know the secret to our swim team and our company, it is this: we don't do things alone. We rely on each other for support, counsel, and each other's expertise. Santi's success across all of his swimming events has led to our team growing fast. But when I congratulated him on the win, he said, "Congratulations to you." I wasn't expecting that answer. I was very surprised. He doesn't have an ego, and that is very rare in a highly competitive swimmer. He has 3 coaches, a sports nutritionist, a sports psychologist, a physio, a master's team that supports him, a mobility coach, extremely supportive parents and brother, teammates who cheer for him, and a YouTube channel name on his swim cap. Sure, you might be able to do it alone, but what is the point if you can't share the joy with other people who feel a part of your success? I can't help but include a bonus. This mistake can make you slower in the pool, so I have to include it. Bonus mistake: too much screen time. Our YouTube channel is the primary way of how we connect with you, but in our swim team, Santi stands out as the kid without a smartphone. Olympians often set aside phones, especially social media, during critical meets. Studies link excessive screen time with depression and anxiety. This evidence suggests that limiting screen time might improve your performance. Why not use that time for swimming or stretching your feet? If you want a quick summary of these points to easily remember them, stay tuned to the end of this video. See you there. Swim fast.